The Romans were at Cawdor in Nairnshire. Really? What a preposterous idea. Or is it? Let me tell you a story. It took the Romans less than 4 decades from the invasion of AD 43 and subsequent conquest of southern and eastern Britain for them to be knocking on the door of the northern expanses of Caledonia. In the summer of AD 78, the Emperor Vespasian appointed Gnaeus Julius Agricola as governor of Britain. And Agricola is among the best known of Romans as a result of his biography. And this was written by his son-in-law, the Roman historian Tacitus, about 20 years later in AD 98. Agricola immediately launched a campaign against the peoples of North Wales. In AD 79 he re-established clear Roman authority in northern England, and then in AD 80 began the campaign he envisaged would complete the Roman conquest of Britain. He was marching into Scotland. Now the Romans marched into the Scottish border country and established a large camp at Trimontium, which is near modern-day Melrose. And as you can imagine, the local tribes were not happy. Here's some drone footage I took earlier in the year of a large hill complex near Jedburgh in the Borders. As you can see, the local Caledonians were well organised and had excellent defences, and it must have caused the Romans some concern as to how they would conquer these people. According to Tacitus, the Caledonians then turned to armed resistance on a large scale. They adopted guerrilla warfare, and this didn't suit the Romans, who liked to fight in organised, formal battle. They began attacking Roman forts and skirmishing with their legions. And in a surprise night attack, the Caledonians very nearly wiped out the whole 9th Legion until it was saved by Agricola's cavalry. The Romans responded by pushing further north. In the summer of 83, Agricola finally faced the massed armies of the Caledonians, led by a big lad called Cawdor. This was at the Battle of Mons Graupius, and the only record of this battle is the one written by Tacitus, and some of the details are a bit sketchy. For instance, its location has never been found. It's thought to be somewhere between maybe Elgin in the north and Stonehaven in the south, but its actual site has never been established. The writing of Tacitus is a bit biased and obviously designed to show his father-in-law Agricola in a good light. Anyhow, according to Tacitus, the Romans secured a great victory. Now, satisfied with his victory, Agricola may have carried on and marched his army to the northern coast of Britain, with the navy in support going round the coast. He also instructed the prefect of the fleet to sail right round the north coast of Britain, confirming, allegedly for the first time, that Britain was in fact an island. Now, in 1984, the site of an alleged Roman camp was identified at Eastergall country, southwest of Cawdor, and this was established by aerial photography. The site was excavated between 1985 and 1990, with a single fragment of pottery being discovered, which was assumed to be Roman because it looked similar to a fragment found at a legionary fortress near Blairgowrie. I recently put the drone up to try and get an idea of the location of the camp at Cawdor. Unfortunately, the River Nairn over the last 2,000 years has eroded part of the site, but some of it must still exist. When you look at the aerial photograph of the site at Eastergall country, it's not that big, and it's certainly not big enough to have held a legion. Now, my own idea is that the army would probably have sent out smaller units of men called cohorts to go and explore the surrounding country. A cohort was about 500 men, and this would kind of suit this marching camp that was at Cawdor. Now, I think it's fairly safe to assume, but it is an assumption, that after his victory, Agricola carried on exploring the north of Scotland, and he would have found quite a lot to interest him. He got support from the navy that was out at sea, and no doubt came round the coast. Certainly we think as far as Cawdor, and it may have gone further. There's a little bit of evidence that perhaps the Romans established a marching camp near Muiravoord, and again at Port Mahomet, and perhaps a signal station at Tarbert Ness. But these last things are all conjecture, and no actual evidence has been found. It's also not known how far Agricola would have travelled before he decided it was just impractical and gave up and went back to the south of Scotland. It must be remembered that the Roman campaigning season was usually in summer, because just like it is these days, the winter wasn't always ideal for travel, and certainly not for large-scale battles and fighting. So there we have it. We have an enigma. We have the possibility that the Romans certainly did come this far north and had established a very brief marching camp at Eastergal country. But we have no real evidence of this, but perhaps this may be found in the future. What is certain is the Romans had a huge influence in Great Britain, and certainly had a considerable influence in Scotland. And if we could establish that in fact the Romans came this far north, that would be a lovely addition to early Scottish history. But we shall see. Things may turn up in the future.